What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. And I don't know what I'm going to call this. Is it an unfiltered? Is it a new? It's not really a new show. I'll figure out a title for it later. But yeah, welcome back. Big show today. Lots of people on. Civir, Shreyas, Nick. We've got a few concerns about selection, lads. Sesko is out for a month. On top of that, we're losing Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui to the AFCON for minimum 6 games, could be up to 8 games, depending if they make it to the final. Big problems, big opportunities at the same time. Nick, let's start with you. Let's start with Sesko. How big of a blow is Sesko's injury? If it is for 1 month and it doesn't go on longer, how big of a concern is that for United?
I like that you started with me with Sesko, so I appreciate that.
I had to, don't I? So
yeah, it's my boy. How big of a blow in regards to? I mean, he's not been in incredible form, so.
But with all the other players who are also going after AFCON.
Yeah, obviously that's something. By the way, I thought Mbeumo wasn't going AFCON, and I realised
he's not going to the World Cup.
I was about to say, yeah. I realised he did not go to the World Cup because when I saw the news, I was like, all right, buzzing. We're getting Mbeumo in January and December, like happy days. But no, he's just not going to the World Cup. In which case, anyway, Sesko. It depends really because I think you can use him in certain games. You know, if it's not going our way and we need to go a bit more direct, and you've seen it with Le Mans going, winning those second balls with Mbeumo and Cunha in behind him. So I think it takes something away from us tactically. I'm okay if we're starting Cunha and Mount in games up top because I think that fluid rotation.
We'll get into that later. You
said I think that's going to kind of cause problems, but it's not as bad as we first initially thought. I mean, it's only 3 weeks that he's going to be out for, isn't it? I think he said
with knee injuries, it's always a bit tricky, isn't it? Like sometimes, like it's
to be honest.
Say a month.
Yeah, they say it's weird, isn't it? Because I was speaking to Shreyas about this the other day. Like the first 5 games looked really, really good, solid link-up play. I was like, okay, interesting. And then the next 5 games after that,
Forest game.
Yeah, you're like, it seems like his confidence is knocked a little bit, which happens with young players. So it'll be a blow, but I think they've got players there to recover.
Civir, tactically, like Nick touched on, that's going to change things. We'll get into Xerxes like specifically later on. But do you think that changes how United play up top without Sesko there? Obviously, it depends who plays there, whether it's Cunha, Xerxes and stuff like that. How much do you think that changes like the sort of front line and how they work together?
Possibly, but it won't be like major changes. I think it'll just be like minute changes. Maybe some of the long balls in over behind might change because if we don't have anyone to win the headers going off, then that might actually change. I think it's a little bit more serious than Nick is making it out to be honest. But that's just me. I'm a bit pessimistic with some of these kind of things. I think he's needed in certain games. In certain games that will really need Sesko in, and other games where we might go for a different profile. Maybe, games where we're under the cosh, we're playing on the counter. I think he'll be brilliant in those kind of games when there's spacing behind, really. But then when it's compact, maybe we might need like a Mount Cunha sort of situation. So it might change tactically as far as how we move the ball forward. I think the premise of the way we play is that, quick balls, switching balls. I think we have a stat to say we have the most switches in the Premier League. Some crazy stat like that, somewhere. So I think that would continue. It just depends on direction into which who we're playing into, that sort of thing. So I think that's the main change. We haven't seen the manager make like wholesale changes as far as tactic wise. So I don't expect there to be that. I mean, it's just the profile of the player has changed, so it might just change the way we progress the ball, really.
Yeah. Do you think this injuries, Shreyas, come at a good or a bad time for Sesko? Because, like Nick said, he was playing really well for the first few games, struggled against Forest, struggled against Spurs, and then obviously went off injured. Do you think it's good to take him away from the spotlight a little bit? He was getting some criticism for Gary Neville and Troy Deeney, funnily enough, who's God knows what has he done in his fucking career to criticise Benjamin Sesko. But do you think it's come at a good time, takes him out of the spotlight for a bit, or do you think a play like that, when they're having a bit of a confidence sort of crisis, they need to play through it? Like, what do you think?
Deeney was like Warsaw Player of the Year or something.
Yes, yeah.
Put some respect on his name.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I need to
I had
recognise
to just correct that. Yeah.
Recognise Troy Deeney's accomplishments in the game. I'm sorry.
Also, go on.
I think personally it has come at a bad time for him, because if you look at the next set of games that we've got, I think it actually plays to his strengths, the next set of fixtures you've got. And one of the biggest reasons why he didn't play as well against Spurs, or mostly against Forest, I would say, is because it wasn't the right game for him. If you look at the centre backs, if you look at the way the opposition set up, it's not going to be playing to his strengths, and it's going to, over exemplify his weaknesses if you're going to, stick with him throughout the game. Because in those games, you wanted someone who could, make that final pass at the right moment, hold up the ball at the correct moments, know when to release the ball back into the midfield, and, whenever you are being pressured by the centre backs. So, playing against Murillo and I think it was Milinkovic or whoever it was in that Forest game, it wasn't really, his best game. But I think, considering you've got Everton, you've got Wolves, and you've got, a couple of those sort of teams coming up.
Well.
Yeah, that, Sesko, if he plays in those games, he'll have a big impact because he'll have space in behind. And on top of that, when you want to play those long balls while trying to, release pressure from the back, he'll be very important in those games. So I think it is definitely a blow for us that he won't be there. But again, this is probably the best chance Xerxes is ever going to get. If you look at competition for places, and on top of that,
touch on Xerxes separately.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get into.
But I think regardless, I think if he was around, we would be a bit more, I would say, competent enough to, hold off teams like Everton, hold off teams like Bournemouth and Palace for that matter, because the model that we've got working right now when Sesko is in the team, it seems to work quite well, no matter who the opposition is, especially when it comes to releasing the pressure by the goalkeeper. Now, I just want to see, do we have enough, or do we have the right set of players to make certain tweaks to the system now that Sesko is not going to be around for a month?
Yeah, this is a good point. Nick, we've got AFCON absences as well, and I'm going to go to you again on one of you other boys, Ahmad. We lose Mazraoui, so that's a right wing-back option gone. Ahmad is gone, so that's a 10 and a wing-back option gone. Does that expose the back line a little bit, just because neither of them are available to play, and we're probably going to have to stick Dallow in there for 6 to 8 games? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's an inevitability that we all need to accept that Dallow's going to get more minutes. There's no getting away from it. It's going to happen. We might as well just sit here and, expect the worst almost in that position, unless he has some miraculous run of form of games where, like he did under Ragnick, do you remember? Where he was like the most improved player or whatever.
He was the only improved player on the Ragnick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Elanga, to be in fairness, was pretty good under Ragnick, but he got run into the ground. But yeah, in terms of the right back and the 10, it's either you go in with Diego Dalot, or you can put Dorgu maybe at right back.
But then you have to put Dallow at left back.
But then put Diego Leon. Bring Diego Leon.
Yeah.
And see what he's about.
Is he ready?
Well, is Dallow ready to touch a ball?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, can you do really much worse?
He's Amram's cousin, though, remember? So
yeah, well, that's obviously, and Christmas coming up. It's kind of like you don't want to spoil the family dinner, do you?
No.
That's something I would look at. As for Mbeumo, he's irreplaceable, really, innit? There's not much. You can't swap player for player, but we do have more players in that attacking department who can swap names that we've already mentioned. So I know, and if it's also an opportunity potentially to, I know this is wishing on a star, but deploy Bruno a bit further up in certain games.
We're going to get into the midfield.
And maybe that's something we can look at as well.
Absolutely. Shreyas, out of those 3, for you personally, who's the biggest miss?
I would say Ahmad would be the biggest miss. The reason being, I still think at least, you've got certain players in the attack who can make up for Mbeumo not being there for quite some, for a bit, but you don't have enough to replace Ahmad on that right-hand side, because he is the closest, who is, the closest who I would say to the sort of wing-back Amorim actually wants in this team. He's the, person who comes closest to that profile, and he's been, playing quite well. That partnership on the right-hand side has been gelling up quite well with Mbeumo, and he's a smart player. He knows, how to position himself, and he knows, when he needs to burst forward. He knows when he needs to track back, and he's quite good in that department on the right-hand side. And I just don't know who you would bring in, who delivers at the quality that Ahmad does. Because if Mbeumo goes out, I can still see, maybe Bruno gets pushed up, maybe Mount comes back into the team, and he's been looking quite decent in this season as well. So at least you've got players who can come in there and have an impact.
Yeah.
Ahmad's position, you take him out, there's a big hole on that right hand side. We just don't have enough players, especially in that wing back department, who match up to that sort of quality.
Yeah. Chivi, Mbeumo has been pretty crucial for us, like not just in terms of goals, but his pace, the width he's able to think that turns inside. Who do you see sort of stepping up to that role? Is it just a simple case of, like Nick said, pushing Bruno up and placing him in that 10, or does your boy Xerxes come into there? Like, who's the best suited to sort of play there?
That's a big miss. That's a massive miss. Over the years, I don't think we've been as effective on the right hand side since, like, I don't know, since Ronaldo, since Valencia or something, maybe.
Yeah.
So that's a huge miss. Bruno in the 10, possibly, but then we lose out in the midfield.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We lose out in the midfield. But I think the most effective, out of what we have, as far as, because none of the profiles we have fit that Mbeumo's profile.
No.
And I think the closest person to being as effective as, or near as effective as Mbeumo would be Bruno. So that's the problem. So it's one of them ones. I don't know who we can put in there.
Would you mind seeing Mount and Cunha together? So Mount, maybe bring Cunha.
I would rather Cunha on the right and then Mount on the left.
Yeah.
I'd rather that. I think Mount would be wasted on. I think Mount just being there would just be another body. Like, I think I'd rather Cunha on the right hand side and then Mount on the left hand side, possibly. Personally, but this is where the manager is going to have to convince us about how he moves forward with this, because that's a huge miss. And I disagree with Shreyas on this one, because I think Mbeumo is a bigger miss than Ahmad.
I agree.
Honestly, because I mean, the way without him, like, I don't know. He's been our most.
No one
effective
to stretch
player.
the last line, is there? That's the thing. He's like unique in that department.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I don't know. I wouldn't put Xerxes on there. I'd rather put Xerxes in a more central position where he's pulling players in, and then putting people in. So someone with pace, possibly, can play on the right hand side, but I don't know. They were talking about Shreyas. Yeah. Is Anthony on loan, or have we sold it?
No, sold him. Sold him. He's gone, mate. Sorry.
Yeah.
You get Rashford back.
So,
he loves playing on the right,
as well.
doesn't he?
You said someone with pace and then said Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony weren't quick, was there?
Yeah, he's the most deceptive player ever. Like, he
you
moves
think
like
you think tricky winger, he's going to be quick.
Yeah.
And he's just not, he's not.
Yeah, he had one burst of pace, I remember. I don't know if you guys remember it against Chelsea.
Yeah.
He sprinted past Cucurella, and I was like, what the fuck?
Was that when he crossed it with his other foot?
Yeah.
Like,
I think so. I think so. Yeah,
I was just like, holy shit, he could do it with his other foot.
So
That's insane.
two things: he sprinted past someone and used his other foot, and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
Do you remember when him and Partey were going for like a loose ball, and Partey literally just strides next to him and just shoves him off? Do you remember that?
What a guy!
Yeah. If you're getting outrun by Thomas Partey, like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? It's not good, is it? Shibby touched on sort of some changes there, Nick. Xerxes possibly being up front, Bruno being pushed up. We go on to the midfield. If we are pushing Bruno up top into that 10 position, is this Kobbie Mainoo's time to partner Casemiro?
I think people, in general with United, I think people are so hesitant to go for top 4 shouts and European shouts simply because I think if one player gets taken out of that midfield, let's say Cass picks up an injury now,
we're fucked.
I think everything just goes to shit instantly. So I don't think he will rotate in that midfield. I think he will keep it Casemiro and Bruno as long as possible. As long as it's functioning like it's functioning at the minute, I don't think he's going to be taking any risks. The only time he'll take risks is when it's the FA Cup and he'll start Ugarte or he'll start Kobbie Mainoo. And that's the times when you see him. And it's unfortunate because we're living in a World Cup year where I think there's a huge opportunity for England to go to the World Cup and do something, especially I know we always qualify anyway, but I mean, in quality, they just smashed everyone. Clean sheets, 8 wins in a
There's been
row.
no bad things with England.
Nothing.
Like, there's not been anything
they've
to
looked
criticize.
efficient. They've got that German efficiency, which is mad to say, 'cause obviously it's an England team. But under Tuchel, I've watched them quite a few times, and they look ruthless. And I don't think he's going to have any part in that whatsoever, and it's sad. And same thing with Xerxes, really, isn't it? Like, Delit's only managed to just push into the Netherlands squad.
Got his
and he's
first
been
start,
playing,
didn't he?
got his first start, clean sheet, was a man of the match performance. And that's just now, after like he'd been playing for quite a bit. So I'm worried for Kobe, personally.
Yeah. Shreyas, you think Bruno is more effective in that 10 role? Or I know Chivy's mentioned he's really saw the improvement of Bruno in the 8, like over the last couple of weeks. Do we halt that progress that he's building in that role if we do moving forward?
I don't think so personally, because I think the way he has naturally grown, it doesn't feel forced anymore. It feels more natural whenever he's on the ball in that midfield, and he knows, he's what I used to see before, especially in moments when the season started, was he didn't know when to switch up the play. He had the ability to, to do it, but he didn't know when to float the ball out wide, either to Cunha or to Mbeumo. But now, whether he is on the ball or Casemiro is on the ball, it's like clockwork that they know, we need to switch it out wide, or we need to hold the ball, we need to wait for the run, we need to spread it out to Ahmad. So it looks quite well. One thing definitely is, if you push Bruno up, you will definitely get numbers from him, because he just manages to do it when he is near to the box. He's going to give you goals. Give you those. I think if we push Bruno, we just wouldn't have the balance in that midfield. Start playing in that midfield, I just don't know whether it's going to work in this system, because the only midfield that I've seen working in the system has been Casemiro and Bruno. The moment we get Ugarte in, the moment we get Mbeumo in, it just seems to completely fall apart. And that midfield is genuinely so delicate that I'm guessing by the time AFCON comes around, we wouldn't be in a position, when it comes to dropping points, that Amorim would be making a lot of experiments or a lot of changes to this team, because as it is, we're in a very delicate spot. One game, one win or one loss can push you 3 positions up or 3 positions down. And with the sort of pressure there already is at United, with how things are going, I don't think Amorim is going to take a lot of chances. I think he's going to stick Bruno in the midfield. I think he's going to stick with Casemiro in the midfield, and probably, even if he has to make some, if he has to look at some alternatives, he's going to, look at the other attacking positions or in the wing back positions to make them. I don't think that he's going to, make many changes to that midfield. And I get why he doesn't, but that is why the only scare for, moving into the January window for me is that, Menu might force a loan move or a move out of United, because I just don't see him getting the minutes with Amorim there.
Yeah. Is this, Chivy, is this your boy Xerxes' time to get some games here, with Sesko potentially injured? Mbeumo's not there, so maybe Cunha doesn't play that 9 role as often. Is this time for Xerxes to show what he's got?
No.
I mean, hopefully the manager picks him to play at least, even if it's a bit part role, because he might just do the Cunha mounts and Mbeumo thing. So, which I'm not mad at, because
Mbeumo won't be here. So.
Oh, you mean after?
Yeah,
like during AFCON.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he'll be forced to at that point. He'd be forced to play Xerxes, because we don't have that many attacking options after that. So he'd be forced to play him in. And that's his time. I mean, this is the same thing he went through last season when we played Højlund until it was just unplayable. And then we put Xerxes in, and then everyone could see at least the difference that he brought to the team. And I think this is one of those times where he would have to prove himself all over again. And I'm really praying for it, not because he's a player that I like or he's one of my favorite players, because I just think he has the profile. I think the profile is perfect for us. So there's not a thing about favoritism or that sort of thing. Like, I personally prefer Kobe Mino to Bruno, but I wouldn't I wouldn't play him over Bruno in the system. See what I'm saying? So hopefully he gets a chance to play, and I really think he'll make an impact. And I just hope people are patient with him as well, because there's certain players that we give lots of grace to.
I don't want to see Newcastle repeat where they're booing him, and so I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I just hope he gets patience too, because if you think about it, he hasn't really played too many games. We can't just expect him to come in and immediately just hit the ground running. So hopefully he gets some grace from the fans, and they take it easy on him. And but I think this is his time, whether or not the manager likes it or not, because we don't have that many players anyway. So they'd have to put him in.
Yeah, Nick, another one of your guys, Mason Mount, started this season extremely well. Got an injury, and then he's been on the bench, but he's not really come on. He's not really made any appearances. Do you think this is a good stretch of games for him to sort of stake a claim and take that left-hand side spot again? Because possibly Cunha could be moved to the centre with Sesko out. Like, can he stake his claim there again?
Yeah, I don't know why he's not been playing, to be honest with you. I don't know what it is, whether it's a tactical thing or... Because Amrin clearly loves him. I mean, the first time he came to the club, it was like there was pictures, weren't there, because certain people were training.
Kept speaking about him as well, didn't he?
It was going on, loves him, adores what he does. More of an out-of-possession thing. This is why I don't think a lot of people rate Mason Mount as much, because obviously the main things to look at, how many goals they get in, how many assists they get in, what they're doing when they're on the ball. But a lot of the work in the Premier League is what they do off the ball as well, and the shape and their intelligence. And when you watch a player like him, he ticks all those boxes. So if he's fit, which has always been the thing with him, which is the annoying thing, like you never know, he could just be out for a couple of weeks or something, like a little niggle in his leg, or do you know what I mean? So I don't know if he's fit and available. I mean, I think it's interesting because as we get into the AFCON, I think AFCON's from like 21st December to like the 19th of January or something.
That's when the tournament starts, but they have to be released apparently 2 weeks before the tournament.
Right. So even longer, is it?
So potentially, I think the first game, apparently clubs can do deals with nations and they release them later. Yeah. Similar to, how Onana didn't go to like the day before.
Yeah, there was a load of shit around that, wasn't there?
Like, apparently there can be deals done where they go later and stuff. So theoretically, the earliest time will be without him would be the Villa game, I think, on the 8th of December. I think that'll be
the Villa game's 21st.
Is the Villa game 21st? I think what's the one on the 8th? There's one on the 8th, I'm sorry. Yeah. That could be potentially the earliest we could be without them.
So that's a long time, really.
Exactly.
And it's a big chunk of games.
If they go to the final, any of them, that's 8 games.
Yeah.
They're not going to the final.
It's 6.
They've got Onana. They've got Onana.
Yeah.
Cameroon, but like Morocco, probably a very good team. Like they could.
But Mazraoui's more of a utility player, in it. Like, so I'm not as bothered about. If Ivory Coast and Cameroon go out early, fucking fantastic. The one time where I'm almost praying for them to like, Onana, just do what he was doing at United.
Just chuck it in it.
And Mbeumo will be back home swiftly. Yeah. So, but now that's like you talk about window of opportunity. They can't moan now. If these players go away and they don't perform consistently and they don't step up, look in it. That's your moment. Like, you can't moan anymore. It's your chance now.
Especially if Mount gets injured again. It's just like, look, you had.
That's the thing with him, innit? It's a shame, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mount, can I just speaking of Mount, I just had like I wouldn't say epiphany, but when we're talking about midfield options, I think he's the closest thing to replace Bruno.
Yeah.
That midfield.
He is.
Yeah.
Just thinking about it now. And the reason why coaches like Ten Hag, like Amorim, like Mount is because he's like a coach's dream, because he's one of them ones that just does what the coach wants him to do and he follows instructions. Like, he's one of them ones. So like you can even see it, like one of the things about what he brings to this team now and what I'm so impressed by, it's not just what he does going forward, it's the defensive. We look solid defensively when he's playing. He drops back. If I was one of the wing backs and I saw Mason, like, I would be so happy, because like the way he covers. Oh yeah, he covers for the wing backs and all that. And there's this stupid thing that always happens when we play, where the opposition player gets the ball on the like right hand side or whatever, on our left, and then the 10 goes to him. He passes the ball to the winger. The 10 runs to the ball to double team, and then he's left free to play the ball back. And Mount never allows that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Never. You know, I don't know why people, and that's how we conceded the second goal to Nottingham Forest, and I could see it happening. And yeah, that's just the thing about Mount. Sorry, it just crossed my mind when we were talking about Mount. I think he would be the closest thing to replacing Bruno in the middle if we want to move Bruno going forward.
Yeah.
Right, final one, lads, for all of you. We'll start with Shreyas. What, like, I think the game I mentioned on the 8th of December is Wolves. So say Sesko's still out, Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui have gone to AFCON. Who's your ideal 11, Shreyas, for that game?
Le Mans in goal. Delict, Euro, and is Martin is back or close to being back by then?
He'll be back
He
after
should
the break.
be. He should be back. Yeah.
That's a relief. So I think Martinez comes back in that game. Dallo has to play that game. Then you've got no other option.
There's more chance of Dallo starting up top than there is Xerxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dorgu goes on the right hand side, and I think it would be interesting to see Dorgu on the right hand side after quite some time, because I remember last season when he played on the right hand side, he looked a lot more effective when it came to
100%.
making those crosses into the box. He looked a lot more accurate. So maybe we see a different side to his game as an inverted wing back. Casemiro and Bruno in the middle. Xerxes, Mount, and Cunha up top, and there have been rumors maybe we see some minutes of Shea Lacey as well.
Yep. Nick, is yours the same, or have you changed it a little bit?
Is this what I want or what I think Amron's going to play?
Yeah. What you would like to see?
It's tricky, innit? Yeah, probably the same. I mean, I wouldn't mind pushing Shaw up just to see if he can still do that wing back. I don't know if he can or not.
Wing back.
Yeah.
I think he'll break.
Potentially. But I really like Luke Shaw in those areas where he doesn't necessarily have to be an overlapping wing back. Because other players, like depending on who you're playing with, Mount can drift out wide and Shaw can kind of invert. And those areas where he puts crosses into the box, like he's quite effective there. So I won't mind it. Yeah,
100% play Mount. Luke Shaw there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see him go there. Maybe like Shreyas said, put Leacher back in there.
Yeah.
Cass Bruno's is going to stay the same, and then the front three. I won't mind seeing a run of games with Mount, Cunha, and
Xerxes.
Yeah, I won't mind seeing a run of games, but my biggest issue with that is no one running in behind. So if we play a team who leaves a lot of space, I play high line, who's the one who's going to make that dart, like the Rashford type of runs? Don't see anyone doing it. So that's where I struggle. Everything static for me. But
Chippy, any changes you'd make, or is that the way you go?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I mean, Le Mans and then whoever, the back three can be whatever it is. They're all okay there. But I'd go with Luke Shaw as a wing back and on the left hand side, and Dorgu as a wing back on the right hand side. We saw him there very briefly, but he was really effective. And when he's cutting in on his favorite right foot, there's more of a threat there, for goals. The few times that he made crosses into the box wasn't at the byline. It was kind of like at the edge of the box where he could curve it in.
Yeah.
Played a short one, didn't they?
And then he could curve it in, and both times that I saw that looked really deadly. So I'd like to see that. The midfield picks itself, and as far as going forward, I don't think we have any other options than just to go with Mount, Xerxes and Cunha. And I think Cunha on the right, Mount on the left. And like Nick said, that's a really good point that Nick raised, because none of them have that instinct to run in behind. I think they're all three of them are like
they
ball
want the
players.
ball to the feet. They want the ball to feet.
Ball to feet. They like to carry the ball, that sort of thing. It's just instinctively, drilled into their DNA. It's really hard to change those kind of players. So that'll be a big one to see, because if you look at like someone like Kobe Minu now, I think if he literally just wiped his brain clean, he could actually do the Bruno role.
Yeah.
Just naturally inclined to just take that extra second on the ball. He's just one of them ones. He just gets the ball, he likes to hold it, and then keep it angle. He can't just
ticky-tacky kind of player, innit?
He's just one of. He's too comfortable. Yeah,
he likes holding the ball.
They're just comfortable with the ball. They just that sort of thing. So it's one of them. That's a really good point, Nick. I didn't even think about that. But unless maybe. I haven't really been paying attention to the.
Well, I was going to ask about the youth, because Nick mentioned
to the youth.
Nick mentioned Diego Leon possibly. Does anybody see the likes of Shea Lacey getting an opportunity, a midfielder, Jim Thwaite, Sesko Kone coming in if Bruno gets pushed up and stuff like that? Does anybody see any youth players sort of featuring over this period?
Well, I spoke to Stephen Railsden the other day. Obviously, you know, he does like the academy reporting in Manchester Evening News. Really, really good on it. And the names he earmarked as the ones, because he travels up and down the country basically watching them. And he said Goodwill. He thinks Goodwill can conquer. Will end up getting minutes. He likes Bendito.
Is he a centre back?
Yeah, like left-sided centre
tall,
half.
like he's like 6'4",
he's big.
6'5" or something.
Yeah, he's a big lad.
Tall dude.
Bendito potentially. We talked about wing backs before. Bendito, Mantato, Jim Thwaites was another
Jim
one.
Thwaites is a lot of talk about Jim Thwaites.
And he mentioned obviously JJ Gabriel's 15 in it, but it's one of them where Max Dalman's playing Premier League minutes, so is it an absolute stretch to say that? I'm not entirely sure. That they probably won't, but they're the names that he mentioned, so I'd be interested to see if any of them start.
Did he say anything about Bendito's injury? Because I think he was injured at some point.
No, they didn't mention it to me anyway.
Right.
No.
Shea Lacey's had a few injuries as well, which is his development. He's had quite a few, so that's a little bit worrying. But Shreyas, any youth players you think might get opportunities?
I think it's quite tough because of the position that we are in. Because again, one bad game, one bad performance, one loss. The conversation around United changes completely. I think what Amorim would be waiting for, especially to make that sort of an experiment, would be when you go on a run of 3 to 4 games where you're consistently picking up wins, and at least there is a healthy gap of at least 3 to 4 points in between you and the other team beneath you, because this table is changing quite swiftly. And the next 5 games that we've got, they are actually quite winnable. That's possibly your best set of games now till the end of the season. So if you can maximize
we don't play any top 6 teams, I think, but we do play Nick's favourite team, Bournemouth, who have been phenomenal against us since he slagged them off. So that's an interesting game.
Bournemouth and Palace are the only ones there who seem to give us trouble, but besides that, they are pretty winnable games. So if you can make the most of these games and get some points in, you create a gap in that top 4 race. So I think it basically, goes down on the results, but I wouldn't be surprised because it's quite difficult to judge Amorim when it comes to his decision making.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, just imagine if we had Champions League football this year.
Oh.
Like how fucked we would be now. The squad depth. Maybe they might change that in the summer market if we did get it, but me.
Do you know when they were talking about, maybe European football, without European football is good for us, and people are, it's just copium, you just go back. I was like, actually, it's pretty true.
It is.
Because we couldn't fucking deal with it right now. Like, we couldn't.
The physicality levels can't deal with it.
So it's interesting. But if you're watching this, you will be watching this later on because this is pre-recorded, it's not live. So please do leave a comment who you think will step up, who you think will get given chances. Give us your 11 who you play against Wolves. Potentially the first time we'll be out with all those players. Thank you to the lads for joining us. There will be content over the weekend. I think the preview's already out for Everton with the Everton fan Alex, so go check that out.
Not out yet.
And it will be when this comes out.
Will it? I thought it was out tonight.
Are we switching it up now? Is that what we're doing?
No, you said the game's on Monday.
Yeah. But you said the graphic was on the Thursday.
Okay, well, whatever. There's going to be some form of content
there'll be either this will be out when you're watching it on a Thursday, or it'll be out on Friday. Something will be out. Something will be out.
Yeah.
And there'll probably be something on the weekend, the Sunday social or something. And then obviously we'll be back on Monday for the game against Everton back in the Premier League. So please do keep your eye on that. And keep an eye on our socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky if you're on there. Yeah, keep an eye on all that. Appreciate you guys for joining us. And we'll see you all another day. Peace.